Hello there, Dana. Hello there, everyone else. Let's just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Started the video and then realized I hadn't really set it the way I wanted it yet. So anyway, this is a reading for Dana. Thank you everybody for stopping by and checking out my reading style, seeing if I might be the right reader for you. For those of you who would like to have a super affordable one question reading on the internet for the low price of $6, just like this one, all you have to do is check out my website to see how that works. I also do have private readings, 1 and 2 question readings, which are recorded on audio recordings and then sent to you. And I have live readings as well, either done via Skype or by phone. Those also, of course, are private readings. And then I also have addiction relief services for those of you who are wanting to kick an old habit and just need a little extra boost up. This is not going to completely break you free from the addiction, but it will give you some help in doing and breaking free yourself. You do still have to do the things that you need to do too. This just gives you a boost and makes it a lot easier. Okay, so all of those things can be done in person or they can be done at a distance. Usually I do them at a distance. And then for people in the local area only, local being Golden, Colorado, or within a 2-hour driving distance, a reasonable 2-hour driving distance, I offer psychic parties where either I come and read for you and your guests, or I can facilitate you and your guests discovering your own psychic abilities. Either way is lots of fun. And then I also do house clearings. So if you're trying to sell a house and it's been on the market just a little bit too long and you're in the local area, I'm the girl to call to have you come clear that house, get rid of some stagnant energy so that it'll move on the market a little bit more quickly. And then also if you're just having some flat out negative entity energy in your house, once again, I'm the girl to call. I can take care of that in the local area. Now, let's get on with our reading now that we've talked about all the official stuff that you can get me to do for you. La da 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 da. My name is Dana. I'm a Scorpio. Me too, Dana. Isn't it great? My question is, Dana says, will I ever have a family of my own? Thank you. And then she gave me her birthday, which, by the way, guys, I don't really use birthdays so much. Wow, your birthday is 9/1? Well, happy birthday, my dear. No, it's not. She signed the date as 9/1. So that's not her birthday. Okay, now I'm embarrassed. Nobody is born 9/1/17 and then writes me an email asking for a reading on the same day. Anyway, will Dana ever have a family of her own? Now, I gotta say, the cards have been cleared and I've been shuffling, but the first thing that comes to mind, Dana, whenever I ask this question, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. It's called Under the Tuscan Sun, and it's been out for several years, probably over a decade now. But it's a story about a lady whose family just kind of comes apart, or her marriage kind of comes apart, and she relocates to a completely different country, and she wants a family, and she wants, you know, all the things that most of us typically want. And in the end of the movie, somebody points out to her that she has a family now in her new place, although it's not a conventional family at all. It's not like a husband and kids or a wife and, you know, kids or whatever. She has, what's the official word? Not homosexual, not metrosexual. All I can think of is straight. I apologize, I can't think of the official word, but she's straight. She has a friend who is homosexual that lives with her that agreed with her partner to have a baby at one point, and then the partner left her after the baby was on the way. So this friend moved in with this straight woman. So it's not a romantic relationship at all, but it's this woman is living in her house and this other woman is living in her house with her little baby. And so, somebody points out to her, you have a family now. And it was kind of an aha moment for her, like, yeah, I really kind of do. So that's the first thing that came to my mind as I was reading this question. So I want to actually make your question a little bit more specific to make sure that we get the answer that we want. I've always had this belief that if we ask questions that are too vague of Sacred Spirit, we're going to get answers that are too vague and kind of not useful. So I want to kind of define family in this question so that you'll know when you get to family. It won't have to dawn on you later after somebody else points it out. So, will Dana ever have a family of her own, including a significant other and children? Again, when I say children, I'm not saying blood children or adopted children. I'm just saying children. Could be either way. Could even be foster children. But will Dana ever have a family of her own, including a significant other and children? Let's find out. Absolutely. We've got a nice solid yes here. I could shut down the camera. You've got your answer. We're done. But I really don't like to do that because I like to read the details of things so that we sort of know a little bit more than just yes or no. I mean, if Spirit's going to give us that information anyway, why shouldn't we access it? The first thing that I have showing up, I'm just going to read off the cards really quickly, and that way if you're picking up information from the cards too, here's what I always say to people who do read the cards. If you are picking up a reading that is different from the reader's reading, whether it's me or not, then what I would say is notice what you're picking up. That's going to be valid. And notice what the reader is saying, because that's going to be valid as well. So if you happen to read cards and you pick up something different than me, then you're getting a double whammy here. You're getting two messages, okay? And that's perfectly fine. That happens actually quite a bit. So cards are, in the order that I put them down, the Wanderer in reverse. That would be something similar to the Fool in a traditional tarot deck. The Shaman, right side up, which would be something similar to the Magician in a traditional tarot deck. We've got the Ten of Bows in reverse, which would be like the Ten of Wands or the Ten of Clubs in reverse. Five of Arrows, which is right side up. This would be like the Five of Swords in a traditional deck. And then we have the Ancestor in reverse, which is sort of similar to the Hierophant, but there's enough of a difference there that I only say sort of similar to, okay? So let's see what's coming in here. So first one, we've got the Wanderer showing up in reverse for you, and we're asking about, will you ever have a family of your own with a significant other and with children? I do think that you will, and I think that when you do have a family of your own, it's going to be very well thought out and very planned. This is not going to be something that's spontaneous, spur of the moment. It's not going to be something that takes you by surprise. This is the kind of card that would tell me, there's a lot of planning before you have any children, planning with your significant other or your partner. So, yes. Absolutely, the answer is still yes. And this is saying there's going to be some planning before that happens. It's not going to be something that takes you by surprise. All right. And the next card basically tells me that once you and your significant other get together and agree that it's time to have children, put on your seatbelt, baby, because it's going to happen fast. Kaboom. You have the Shaman showing up here. The Shaman actually means two things to me as I'm reading this, okay? First of all, there's a lot of chemistry between you and your partner. And secondly, things are going to happen fast. Those babies are going to be coming in quick once you agree. Once you stop taking the pill or whatever it is that you do to allow those babies to come in, they'll be coming in quicker than you can blow your nose. So just be aware, be ready before you actually start that process. Don't be going, oh, well, in a couple months we'll be ready, so let's just start practicing now. No, don't do that. Bad idea. Okay, next card that we have coming up, Ten of Bows in reverse. Now this is not my favorite card when I'm looking at something like this, but I want to feel around and see what it is that we're looking at here. So it looks to me like even though everything is well thought out and planned before you guys actually hit the go button, you do have a little bit of a different family situation. And when I say different family situation, you have a looser definition of family than a lot of people would. I feel like you are either with somebody who has to travel a lot, or you have to travel a lot. And so there's a lot of being away from home from one party or the other, maybe both of you. And so you kind of have to plan who's going to take care of the kids while I'm on this business trip and you're on this business trip or whatever. But I also, besides business trips, I'm also feeling like there are family issues that are going to come up. And I feel like the family issues are more having to do with your significant other, that this person is going to be wanting to go back home and take care of mom or take care of a brother or a sister, or somebody that's having some kind of difficulties. Maybe they're not well mentally and so they're in an institution, if it's like a sibling, or maybe this is just parents who are aging that there may be trips home to make sure that they're okay, trips home to see, okay, is it time to move them into some kind of assisted living or nursing home facility or whatever, and finding that, or maybe even just trips home, like if they have surgeries or something, to stay with them while they're rehabilitating until they can take care of themselves. But I feel like in the situation when you guys get together, once you've actually started the family, there's going to be, he's going to have some responsibilities that call him back to his parental home to take care of something back there. Probably parents, but there's also a little bit of a fringe energy about a sibling that is having stability issues as far as mentally or emotionally. So there may be a little bit of both of that going on, more about the parents than the sibling. And then also, like I said, I also feel in here some movement that has to do with work. I feel like, you may have to go different places for work, but home is still home base. I feel like your significant other may have to take work wherever he can find it, and he may have to move actually away from home because the commute would be too long. So that's why I'm saying this is kind of a non-traditional type of coupledom, if you want to call it that, even once you have the kids. And I think that this is not necessarily the way that either of you would have chosen it, but it's sort of the way that life has laid things out. So you're going to go through a time where it feels like, one parent is kind of the absentee parent and the other parent is carrying the load here. All right, let's look at what's next. I do feel like there's a lot of frustration here, and I feel like a lot of that frustration does have to do with the idea that one or both of you is not readily available as a parent all the time, and readily available as a spouse all the time as well. So this is bringing some tension and some frustration into the relationship. And then the last card that we have here is the Ancestor in reverse, which I told you is sort of like the Hierophant. To me, when I see the Ancestor in reverse, there's a couple of ways that I could interpret this. I could say, okay, this is talking about a divorce, but I'm not seeing it as you guys getting divorced here, mostly because I haven't seen you guys get married yet. That actually does not show up here. You guys show as planning about the family, you know, making sure your money is in a row, all your ducks are in a row, and then having the kids. But I see nothing about marriage. I see nothing about a family celebration. I don't see marriage in the cards here for you with this significant other that you're having the children with. Okay? So when I've got the ancestors showing up in reverse, rather than seeing this as a divorce, what I'm seeing this is that you guys are intentionally not marrying. Now, I don't see this as a bad thing, and it doesn't come across as a bad thing. It comes across, it's not like, oh, I don't like you, I can't spend the rest of my life with you. Oh my God, I can't even imagine that. It's not anything like that at all. But it's just a matter of it doesn't work well for the two of you to be married. And I think it doesn't work well on paper. I don't know if this has to do with benefits for the kids. I don't know if this has to do with insurance at work. I don't know if this has to do with tax reporting. I don't know exactly what this is, but it feels very logical. Like you guys are looking at the bottom line of, you know, is this agreement something that is actually going to be for our highest and best interest? And I think that you guys are coming up with the idea that no, it's really not. And it doesn't have anything to do with how you feel about each other. It just has to do with that. It just doesn't make sense on paper to you guys to actually get into a legal binding marriage. So I think you guys are really happier as legally as independent entities. Okay? Now, like I said, I don't feel like this is a bad card. There's no heaviness to it. Like when this card means divorce, there's a lot of heaviness there to me, and there's a lot of muck, and it feels very tired and very loaded down. This is not that. This feels like it's very thoughtful. You know, we have this card earlier that talked about you guys are thinking things through. This kind of goes along with the character of your relationship, that this has been very well thought out, and that I think that both of you are in agreement that it's better if you're not married. It's better if you're independent as far as legally. Okay? So, will you have a family with a significant other and with children? Absolutely, you've got a strong yes. Is it going to look a little bit different than the neighbors? Yeah, probably. Is that a bad thing? No, I think it's going to be exactly the type of relationship that you and your significant other are going to want and going to need to have your coupledom work well. Bottom line. Okay? So there you are, Ms. Dana. I hope you find that information totally helpful and useful. And now I'm going to go ahead and log off and make this video ready for upload. Peace out, everybody.